Hey guys, it's Tim and this is PWU Daily for April 8th, 2019. This is our Monday through Friday wrestling news morning show where we bring you a bunch of news stories in one easy to watch video. This show actually, comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, now at a new time of 9 a.m. Pacific. And I want you guys to get involved. If you want to be involved in this show and have a question of yours answered on the show, then head over to pwunlimited.net/PWU Daily now to get your question submitted to possibly be answered. All I ask of you is that you actually keep your question timely to the news of the last 24 to 48 hours. If you can do so, then maybe, like what we have in this episode, your question can be incorporated in one of the news stories. So again, if you do want to get your question answered in an upcoming episode of PWU Daily, then you can do so by heading over to pwunlimited.net/PWU Daily now to submit your question. Now again, I do want to remind you guys that PWU Daily will be moving going forward from the normal 11 a.m. time slot to the 9 a.m. time slot, so that way it's 9 a.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. So that way it's not too late for the people, especially on the East Coast. So with that, this weekend saw a lot of wrestling and a lot of major shows like NXT TakeOver, G1 Supercard, the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, and of course, WrestleMania. So I thought I would bring you some of the bigger stories from the bigger shows over this past weekend in quick news. So first off, at NXT TakeOver, Johnny Gargano was victorious over Adam Cole in a 2 out of 3 falls match to capture the NXT Championship. Kota Ibushi defeated Tetsuya Naito at G1 Supercard to capture the Intercontinental Championship. Matt Taven defeated both Jay Lethal and Marty Scurll in a triple threat ladder match to win the ROH World Championship. And in the main event of G1 Supercard, Kazuchika Okada defeated Jay White to become a 5-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Now also at G1 Supercard, we saw Enzo and Cass appear on the show, and at first, when we saw it, they were brawling with Bully Ray and the Briscoes, and we didn't know what to think of it, but now it appears that it was all a work, and they are now working with Ring of Honor. And finally, the last big news story, not talking about WrestleMania, because that's going to be the main topic of today's show, the bigger news story that came out of the weekend has to do with Bret Hart in the Hall of Fame. Bret Hart was actually attacked by a fan during his Hall of Fame induction speech, where 26-year-old Zach Madsen attacked Bret Hart during his speech. Madsen was arrested by police, charged with 2 counts of assault in the 3rd degree. So with that, those are some of the bigger news stories from over this past weekend. And now, let's talk a little bit WrestleMania, as we got 3 items on the dock for you. So first off, what the heck happened in the main event? Main event, and some people may not like me for saying this, seemed to me as a subpar match, and it ended in controversy. When the match ended, it felt very flat, like the crowd didn't know how to react. Yes, Becky's music hit pretty quickly, and she was declared the champion. But something just felt off. And then after the match, if you're watching on TV, you hear Ronda yelling about her shoulder being up. You can tell she is very, very upset with this. If you check out this photo here, it's obvious that her shoulders were not down. Her shoulders were actually up on the leg of Becky Lynch, and the referee counted anyways. Now the referee, I don't know what was going on with this, but according to Tom Calhoun via Kristen Ashley on Twitter, he stated the following: "I've been told by different people in different positions within WWE that was the plan. It sure looks like they just botched the main event of WrestleMania. Accidents happen. The ref continued to count after a kickout. He hasn't delayed between the 2 and 3 like they're supposed to, and Becky hasn't let go in time for Ronda to kick out." So what it looks like here is, based off of what this is stating, the referee may be the main person to blame. First off, the referee was out of position, it seemed like. He was looking at Becky's face other than checking the shoulders of Ronda Rousey. Now, with the referee counting as quickly as he did, maybe with that, it didn't give Ronda and Becky enough time to do a proper kick out, or for Becky to just let go of the crucifix. At this time, it's unclear if, Becky Becky went for the crucifix, and we know that probably shouldn't have been the finish, especially with Ronda's shoulders not down. And it's hard to really say what really happened here without 100% knowing. There's a lot of hearsay going around, and we do have a question here from Randy Bush that has to do with the finish and Corey Graves. Now, Corey Graves on commentary, as soon as the match ended, kept going, Ronda's shoulders weren't down. This shouldn't be a finish. What's going on? This and that. Ronda's shoulders. And Randy asked the following question. With Rowdy's shoulders not being down and Graves mentioning it on commentary, do you think they will bring it up possibly on Raw and even reverse the decision? Now, I don't think they will, because it will make this look even worse. And based off of some news we got from Dave Meltzer last night, they can't reverse the decision. According to Dave Meltzer regarding Ronda Rousey in this match last night, this is Rousey's final match in the WWE until further notice. And now it really has to be, because apparently Rousey suffered a severely broken hand in this match. So even if Rousey was telling everybody this was her last match for a significant amount of time, but they were going to try and convince her to maybe come back for Money in the Bank, can't happen now if she's got a broken hand. So we'll see how it all does go down. I don't think they're going to mention this on Raw tomorrow night. They may have to, since they did the replay and Corey Graves kept mentioning it and everyone's talking about it online. So this is a tough one as far as what they will do, and I don't want to speculate because it's just too hard to know without being there and knowing what they're all thinking. As far as WrestleMania goes, there were 16 matches on the show last night with 7 title changes, and I thought we'd run down the results really quickly. So on the kickoff show, Tony Nese defeated Buddy Murphy to capture the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Carmella was victorious in the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. In shocking but not shocking fashion, Hawkins and Ryder actually defeated the Revival to win the Raw Tag Team Championships. Braun Strowman was victorious in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, rounding out the kickoff show. Now, in the opening match of the main card, we did see Seth Rollins actually defeat Brock Lesnar in a less than 3-minute match to win the Universal Championship. The phenomenal AJ Styles was victorious over the Viper Randy Orton. The Usos retained the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships in a fatal 4-way match over Rusev and Nakamura, Black and Ricochet, and The Bar. In a Falls Count Anywhere match, Shane McMahon defeated The Miz after Miz gave Shane a suplex, or maybe you can even call it a superplex, off of the production platform through a, I guess you could say, crash pad, with Shane landing on top of Miz and pinning him. In another fatal 4-way tag team match, the Iconics were actually victorious in capturing the Women's Tag Team Championships, defeating Sasha Banks and Bayley, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, and Nia Jax and Tamina. With the WWE Championship on the line, Kofi Kingston was victorious over Daniel Bryan, capturing the WWE title, and then in a really great moment, Kofi actually celebrated in the ring with his kids and the rest of the members of the New Day. Samoa Joe retained the WWE United States Championship over Rey Mysterio in like 59 seconds, which leads me to believe that Rey Mysterio's ankle injury is not at 100%. They had no other plans to replace him, so they did something really quickly that would not hurt Rey. Roman Reigns was victorious in his first singles match back against Drew McIntyre. In the Kurt Angle farewell match, Baron Corbin actually defeated WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. With the Intercontinental Championship on the line, Finn Balor, or should I say, the Demon Finn Balor, defeated Bobby Lashley to become a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. And as we stated earlier, Becky Lynch defeated both Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair to win both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. So that is everything that took place at last night's WrestleMania. Now, one other thing that came out of WrestleMania, it has to do with Batista and him working his final match possibly ever. Last night, Batista lost to Triple H, and Batista then took to Twitter to talk about this being his retirement match. Now, we have heard over the last couple of years, especially on the Edge and Christian podcast, that Batista had wanted one final match. He wanted it against Triple H, and he wanted it at WrestleMania. He said he had spoken with WWE multiple times about this and kept getting blown off, but he finally got the match last night. Batista then, after WrestleMania, sent out the following tweets stating, WWE Universe, thank you for letting me entertain you. I love this business, and whether you cheered me or jeered me, I'm grateful for being a small part of your life. I am officially retired from sports entertainment, and I am grateful for every second of my amazing journey. And Batista really did have an amazing journey. Batista was a former 6-time world champion, former tag team champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, and a surefire Hall of Famer. Batista has had many great matches in his career, basically taking on some of the biggest names of the last 2 decades in the WWE. So Batista's now, I guess you could say, even though he already was, a full-time movie personality, or should I say movie star. He's got wrestling behind him. Maybe he can come back for appearances here and there, but it looks like Batista is done wrestling as far as doing matches, and I think that's one of two things. He's getting up there in age, and 2, maybe movie studios are hesitant to sign him to movies if they think, oh, well, you can leave anytime to go do wrestling. Look what happened to The Rock 10 years ago. Or not even 10 years ago, like 6 years ago. So Batista's now putting pro wrestling behind him, but like I said, surefire Hall of Famer, should be going into the Hall of Fame anytime now. Maybe even next year in Tampa, since he is from Florida. Actually, Tampa's actually a good idea because I think he's from Tampa, Florida. And B, maybe he can do appearances here and there like on special episodes of Raw or SmackDown. So with that, again, Batista was a very integral part of my life because I saw a lot of big Batista matches growing up. I mean, him versus John Cena, him versus Triple H, him versus The Undertaker, him versus Edge. Just so many great feuds over his career. He will be missed, even though he really hasn't done much since 2000, if anything, since 2014. So with that, that's going to wrap up today's edition of PWU Daily. PWU Daily comes to you every Monday through Friday at the new time of 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. I want to thank everybody who watched the video today, and also I want to thank everybody who joined us last night after WrestleMania for our WrestleMania review and recap. Again, if you do want to be a part of this show, you can do so by heading over to pwunlimited.net/PWU Daily to submit your question now. Also, don't forget to right down below, hit that notification bell to get notified when we post new videos. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, and follow us on Twitter @PWUnlimited. Have a great day, guys.